Welcome back, FSU Off-Road. Today, next few days, we're going to be working on the steering components here on the front axle of Tinker. Like I said in the previous video, we're going to be doing some upgrades to the brakes with the new brake rotors. Going to be doing new ball joints, high steer, trying to get our steering assisted brackets, ram installed there. We still got a long ways to go. Better get to it. All right, so the first upgrade that we're going to do here, we're going to take the spindle off, the hub, the rotor. We're going to take that off. We're going to put on some new rotors. We're going to clean up the spindle here, make it nice and pretty. Currently working on the Dana 44 front brake calipers. We're rebuilding them, as well as changing out the ball joints and the knuckles. All right, so we'll be rebuilding the brake caliper here. Pretty easy. You have your dust boot. This is just the original one. There was no damage or anything done to it, so we're just going to reuse it, clean it up really well, reuse it. Get you a new seal. This is going to be the main mechanism for your brakes. I mean, you want to make sure that's good to go. This was an old piston that was out of it. You can kind of see it had some old residue and some markings on it. I just took a little light wire brush, took to it, cleaned it up really well, cleaned up the lips as well as the backside. All right, there you have it. One rebuilt brake caliper with a new seal, and the piston and everything's been cleaned up and painted, ready for install. It's time to turn this knuckle into this knuckle. So in order to get this looking like this, we're going to need a few parts. First, new steering bump stops, new ball joints. You're going to want a ball joint remover kit, some time, some patience, a good cleaning wheel, that way you can get all this dirt, grit, and grime out. We just took the couple wire brushes. We got a wire brush there. We got one on the grinder there. We got one on the drill as well, and kind of cleaned it up as best as we could. Now what we're going to do, throw a couple coats of paint on there, and we'll get back to you. And after a little bit of YouTube magic, voila, we have a nice primered and painted knuckle. Now, next thing to do is to go ahead and trash these old ball joints. I mean, you shouldn't be able to do that, and install the new ball joints. Okay, there we have it. Ball joints, new ball joints, grease fittings, both sides pressed in. But now it's time to put it on the axle and start working on something else. We're going to start working on the high steer application. Let's get to it. So since these are custom built high steer arms. We're going to continue to use these and kind of alter these as they go. There's a lot of different ones out on the market where you can actually purchase weld-on kits for some of the Dana 60s, especially with the F250 series. But unfortunately, I haven't been able to find anything for the Dana 44. A lot of it's just single shear, high steer arms. So what we're going to do is we're going to mock up those, and we're going to create a double shear for the Dana 44 axle. Okay, I saved y'all all the boring stuff of me cutting all these brackets out and drilling holes and kind of cleaning them up. And then this is the old existing arm that we cut, and we basically milled out 1/4 inch. That way our new arm can sit flush. And then what we'll do is we'll use our redneck bender over there, kind of bend it up. That way we will have a double shear application for the driver side and passenger side. Alright, so we got our high steer knuckles on the axle here. Went ahead and did some measurements for our hydro assist. We're going to go ahead with an 8-inch ram. It's going to work perfect for this application. Now what we want to do is, like I said before, we want to tie in this knuckle bolt into the actual high steer itself. So what I did was I built a cardboard template of what I want. Got it set up to where everything fits beautifully on the side. So now I'm going to go ahead and get this cut out, tack weld on this knuckle. We'll do the same thing on the other side. As you saw, we started from just a single shear application high steer knuckle. So now we have a double shear for the drag link, a double shear for the tie rod, and then also we have our high steer bolts, and we also integrated it in with the actual knuckle itself. So I think this is going to be a great setup, a great racing setup. So now we just got to do the other side. We already have the high steer arm fixed. Now we just got to put the outer plate on to where it can integrate into the knuckle. Finished up the driver's side high steer arm, got it primered, got it painted, got it installed. So we're looking good. So the final piece of the puzzle finally arrived. We have our hydraulic ram assist for the Dana 44 front end. All right, so here we have it. Ram, your hom joints. You got some brackets with the bolts that come with it. This is a 1.5 by 8 inch stroke. We went with the 1.5 inch versus the 1 3/4 inch because of the quickness of the steering. Doesn't have to push so much fluid. And after contacting PSC regarding which size I should go with, 37s is a turning point, kind of their cutoff point for the 1.5 versus the 1 3/4. And since we're only going to run 35s, there was really no need in, pushing a 1 3/4 Ram with 35-inch tires. Out here working on the hydraulic steering assist. I bought a clamp that clamps together. And I know it's not ideal, but I want as much adjustability as possible. Just in case the tie rod bends or anything like that, we got to take something off. This would be the quickest way to take it off rather than welding these to it. Unfortunately, most applications that I've seen that do a clamp-on style, the bolt bolts directly to it, and then you have just a single shear point. So what I want to do is I actually want to alter these, put them in at an angle, still get the double shear point there for the Ram, as well as clamp on capabilities to the tie rod. Okay, so we just finished the high steer and the steering assist with the PSC Ram. Obviously, we did our custom bracket, double shear, and we integrated it into our track bar and also made it double shear as well. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. We got the front axle done. So if you like what you saw, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. We see you guys in the next one.